rally joiners and support players, about how you can help your team win. Today we have not Pavi, we have Kuma, we have Moggy, and we might have Rami appear. We might have Oz come up at some point. But if you don't know, I'm Jake. I'm in RSP, and I'm a support player. So I have a list of a couple things we could go over to give off some tips. So everyone ready?
Let's go.
Alrighty. So whose audio is that? You're gonna need to mute. Okay. Okay. So before every battlefield, we'll do a checklist. That could be your Monarch talents, your Monarch gear, presets, duty and sub generals, blazons, all stuff like that. You really need to be ready to go right at the start of the battlefield. You don't want to be lingering around for 5 or 10 minutes, making sure everything's okay. So that's something we'll do here. We'll make sure that we're ready to go before battlefield even starts. Another thing, this already applies to the top teams, but this could be advice for the smaller teams. You guys need to get in a voice chat. You need to have your own private Discord. Even if you guys don't speak English or all speak English, just like, yelling out something when you're being rallied, it helps. Um, Another thing we do sometimes before the recording starts is we'll talk about what we want to do in the sandbox. We'll, go over our plan. And yeah. So I have a couple more if we want to talk about it. Does any of the guest speakers want to tackle one of them? We'd be at bullet point number one if you guys want to. If not, I can keep going.
Can you
Yeah,
even hear me yet?
Yeah, we
I
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you, Benjamin.
What's up,
Ah, I
Patty?
fixed it. Hi, everybody.
Good job.
Sorry, go ahead, Kuma. You continue.
Yeah. Oh no, I was just gonna add, just in addition to what Jake said, communication is a really, really big part of your coordination, right? It's really hard to coordinate with each other if you guys aren't on the same page and you guys can't communicate. A lot of things happen really fast, so being on voice is a lot more effective than trying to type things into like your battlefield chat. Like it's a lot faster to just say, hey, siege on Kuma, chords in chat, than posting your chords and typing it out. It's a lot more effective that way. So I mean, a lot of people use Discord. I know we do, obviously. There's also Line and other forms of communication as well. So I think
Yeah.
that's like probably step one to becoming a really effective team.
Yeah, for sure. Big prerequisite.
Hmm.
All right. Kuma, do you want to read off like a bullet point or two if you have that pulled up?
Uh, yeah, let me get into that.
So we'd be at like number one for this part of the call will be about strategies in the battlefield, like stuff that we're doing as support role players.
Okay, like just kind of like the nuances of
Yeah,
like
just
in
like
the
stuff
battlefield
we
itself.
do during the game.
Yeah, yeah. So again, communication is very key. Um, Me personally, I play a support role within RSP, so I'm not really the main rally setter. But what I do a lot of is I'll monitor the Alliance War screen. I'll call out rallies, inbound rallies, and I'll post chords if Usually, it's a lot faster for me to just click on the player's coordinates and then just post it over to the war chat and just say, hey, there's a siege on Jake, chords
Yeah.
in chat, and Jake can make that decision whether or not to stick around or to port depending on what our situation is. I think a big part of strategizing is knowing who you're going to be playing against, right? Um, Playing in RSP, we kind of have the luxury of knowing. We have a pretty good idea of who we're going to be playing. Just when you're kind of like at the top echelon of teams, you're going to be paired up with a lot of the same teams as long as you are in the right slot. So just strategizing is a big part of it. Again, knowing who you're playing against, what they're capable of, what you're capable of. A lot of that comes with experience. So, like, analyzing your reports, knowing what you can and cannot take defensively is a big part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Here I'll go into
I
one of
can.
those bullet points.
I was gonna say, do you want me to?
Yeah, sure. It's like labeled number 1, 2, 3, all that. It's like you scroll down a little bit.
I got it. I looked
All
at
right,
it.
good.
Don't worry.
Okay, okay, okay. Take it away, Pappy.
Um. So I'm gonna actually switch 1 and 2. So one of the things that's important to look at, and that I particularly always look at because I've been playing as like a trap portal player for a couple years now, I'm always looking at the port chances that the enemy team has, looking at the map, um, to see like where our portals are, what the need is, um, looking at the green dots on the map to see where our portal players are, um, to see if there's an issue where maybe we need to help more there, and tracking my own team's portal chances or port chances, and portals as well. Another thing that's really important not to do, is not soloing those crystal mines that have the carts coming to them. You want to leave them open to be able to be rallied. Um, Making sure that a large player with a bigger embassy gets in first, if it does have to be soloed, and then the last player to enter, is a player with good enough stats that it's going to hold up.
Yep, for sure. Never want to really solo, but when you do, you have to be smart about it. All right, I'll take over real quick. Thank you, Pavi. So, when joining a rally, we like to join from the Alliance War page. And there's a little bit of debate whether, like, oh, you should join from the chat or whatever. And as everyone knows, the Alliance War page has been messed up recently. But typically, you'll want to join from there and then just mash speed like crazy so that you get in. It saves like a second or two by joining from the Alliance War page.
When it's working.
Yeah, when it's working. And then also you want to call out in. Like you don't want to scream it like 4 or 5 times, but you just want to say in so that your setter knows, you know. Another thing that we like to do is we like to keep the voice chat clear. And Lori is like our best person at that. She'll tell us to clear the comms if we get too out of hand. So just clearing your comms, making sure that your big guys can speak freely. That's like a good thing to remind the rest of your team to do. Um, Another super basic tip would be turning off your Alliance War settings so that if you're ghosting or something, you don't mess up the flow. When you're ghosting, this is going to be like for smaller teams. When you're ghosting, you only want to try to get on a boss. You don't really want to try to get on a keep. And when you do ghost on a keep, you want to make sure it's not when someone's trying to set a PvP rally. Um, so yeah, and then another one that ties into that is not speaking over your setter. You know, that's like part keeping the comms clear. You don't want to speak over your setter. If you hear them start to speak, just like stop saying what you're saying. Here's something for a big support player and a big team is you'll want to be scrolling the map like at all times. Like you need to find those solo targets. You need to find those rally targets. Um, if you're not like a K45 like 100 bill, you should be scrolling the map trying to feed targets to your team. Pavi or Kuma, you want to take over? We'd be at 6.5.
I guess that's me. Because Kuma's unmuted. You're up, Kuma.
Yeah. So I want to discuss about Knight's Hall. So as you guys know by now, Knight's Hall has this feature where if your team owns the Knight's Hall, it'll send kind of like lines to opponent keeps. You can actually trace those lines over, and then you can find your targets that way. Obviously, if they port, then you'd have to locate another line. But that's a pretty good way to find targets. As long as you're kind of aware, you can always just check on the Alliance War as well, or check on the notification. You can always ignore it too if that gets a little bit annoying.
Yep, King Arthur and everything. You want to get rid of his
Yeah.
red screen.
Yeah. You have the ability to ignore it, but just make sure if it flashes again, make sure you double check and make sure it's not a rally set on you.
Yep.
And then going on to the next point is again just monitoring the Alliance War page. Just again, you can find people who are ghosting. You can even catch people who are soloing there. If people are getting soloed, you can actually catch it in the Alliance War screen for like a brief moment in time. You can click on the coordinates and you can find coordinates that way as well. Being in a support role, you want to find ways to be efficient. You don't want to just sit around and wait for the next rally to be called and just join rallies all day. You want to find other things to do to kind of support your team, right? So checking the map, or even just going to the map view and seeing, hey, we no longer own this portal. Let's go ahead and flip the portal by sending a solo at it. Or if you're pretty familiar with the team that you're playing, it may have to be rallied. But yeah, again, just find ways to just be supportive of your team. Don't just sit there, join rallies, and not say anything.
Yes, sir.
Me to take 8,
Yeah, sure.
or do you want to, since that's your specialty?
Okay, I'll take 8.
You
and then
do it.
You
You do
can
it.
go on 9. All right.
All right.
So if you're being targeted and you're a support player, you're gonna want to be a great baiter. Don't want to give a free little phrasing joke. You want to be a great baiter. Um, if you see
Jake's a master
someone
at that.
yeah, the Mr. Bader. Okay. So if you see your game set on, typically you want to call it out, and then you're gonna be ready to port, and you're gonna see that red line come, and then if it's not a scout, just get out of there, and then that gives your teammate a chance to counter set. So me being super small, I like to do that a lot. That's like typical stuff that a lot of the big people know, but it might help out some smaller and mid-sized teams. Have a dedicated baiter. Yeah. Okay. So another thing that ties into it, if I want to be able to run away, I can't have like a million marches out. I gotta have like maybe 1 or 2 marches out at most, and that's like a rule that I'll follow. Like I can't be sending out like 3, 4, 5 marches because I'll just get absolutely destroyed. Yeah. So you want to take over at 9?
Sure. So another thing you can do is once your team sets a rally on a target and you've already joined the rally, you can go and watch that target. If you flip back and forth between the Monarch page and the detail page, you'll be able to see their power if it changes at all. So if they use the Dragon Heal, you can call it out for your setter. So that way, if you guys are down to the cab or the ground rally, and if they've used that heal, then they can cancel the rally and not send it, and adjust how to proceed. Also keep an eye on those small and medium targets around the map. Hover over their keeps and click on and off of them to be able to tell if they've ported away. as you're clicking on and off, once you get like an occupy instead of the actual keep, you're no longer one, because sometimes the screen glitches and it still shows the keep there, but it's not actually there. You can take the next one, Jake. Another one of your specialties.
All right, so port swapping. This is everyone's favorite thing and the thing that everyone hates when you're on the other side of it. So this is similar to the porting late strat. You're notice that you're getting set on, and you're calling out and you're communicating with your bigger teammates, and you're like, "Hey, let's make these guys angry and port swap." So a port swap would be you're moving out of the way before the rally lands, and then someone else is taking your old spot. That's pretty widely known strat for the big guys. Some smaller and medium teams, they might not be doing that, but it's an easy way to get free scores. If you want an in-depth look at that, go on the RSP YouTube channel and go down and find one of our shorts. Pretty funny short about port swapping. Um, Another thing that we do is the reverse port swapping. So let's say you're trying to rally someone and the other team is port swapping. What you can do is you can beat them to the port swap. You can jump in there and then make the rally bounce back. So that's a good one.
Yeah, Rom from VIG is really great at doing that.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
fun. You guys should check out the VIG versus RSP videos on the YouTube because he was doing that a lot. Is him and Rami, I'm pretty sure. So do we have anything that the hosts want to talk about, like pertaining to that, like those points and stuff, like any stuff that we missed or stuff that you guys do that I don't do? Kuma and Pavi.
Trying to think.
Oh,
Not
he's
really.
ordering food.
Huh?
Kuma said he's ordering food. So if you don't have anything else to add, or I think Moggy's having a lot of speaker issues. Mr. Moggy,
Okay.
you here? All right, apparently not. Okay, so we covered our bullet points, and I can post those because I saw like a couple guys asking for them. They're not everything that we do. It's just like a couple general things that we do that other smaller and medium-sized teams can also do. So you're not getting any of the dirty secrets. We'll post those. And a lot of these things I was doing in my smaller C4 team before I came to RSP. So these are strats that can be used at like every level.
Yeah, absolutely. I've played on quite a few servers at this point across C1, 2, and 3. And most of the stuff is basic stuff that, regardless of the size of your team or your keep, it all applies.
Yeah. I just noticed something funny in chat. We should touch on the porting out of the sand strat from that Waggy person. Maybe Waggy can get a one-on-one lesson from Viper about porting out of the sand. Coin on my account, Moggy. Well, what cup size are you, Viper? If you're C plus and above, I'm pretty sure Moggy will coin
Whoa,
on you.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Okay, so we covered our bullet points. We can get into a Q&A or like a story time type thing with the viewers. Like if you're a support player on your team, you can speak about things that you do. You can ask us questions. Or if you're a big guy on your team, you can come up and be like, hey, this is something I wish my support players would do.
Oh, that's a good one.
Ooh, all right. So sometime a one tap has a question or a suggestion. Talk about how we handle lag issues. So
Oh,
so our battlefields are basically all stars. You know, like it's high level gameplay, stuff like that. When you get into All Stars, you're gonna have a lot of lag. And the number one rule people talk about is don't cry about lag. Like your teammates can't help you with lag, so there's no point crying about it. Uh, the typical thing that you'll have to do is just keep restarting your game when you get lag.
And just
Yep.
adjust. Expect it. Expect that there's going to be lag. There always is in this game. So you just have to keep yourself calm and adjust for whatever is going on. Like
Yep.
the Alliance 4 page not working properly. We had to adjust and join from the chat instead. You just have to be able to be flexible and stay calm.
Yeah, you hope for the best, but you expect for the worst. So,
Yes, sir.
You just got to be ready for the lag.
Yeah, and to add again, communication, right, is a really big part of it. If you need to restart your app, just call it out. Post your cords before you log off or before you close your app, right? So you can have somebody keep an eye on your keep while you're away. Another thing too is again call it out when you land into rallies. Sometimes, like from the rally setter's perspective, sometimes it'll show 14 people in or 12 people in. But on your end, it's showing like marching 0-0. We've all had that happen. Just call it out as soon as you land into the rally, so that way they know when to send and they're not sending out a solo.
Yep. Yeah, so just you can't be upset about lag. You gotta just like keep it quiet. Give out one call out if you need to like really get rid of the app and like restart it for like pre-runs. But other than that, you just gotta suffer through it, sadly.
Yeah, it's part of the game at this point.
Yeah. All right, let's see if we got people raising their hands. We have Mags.
We do. We have Mags.
All right, let's figure out how to invite her up.
I think I just did it.
Move to
Hi,
a
Mags. Hi,
Hey there.
Mags.
So what about hey there? So what about the keeps who should be able to be traps, want to participate in Battlefield, and then read nothing in chat and follow no instructions?
That is what I like to call, and say it with me, skill issue. So
I would agree.
Yeah, I've dealt with that before on my old team. And what I would do is the next day, I'd have a one-on-one conversation with them. I'd be like, hey, dude, like, I want to play with you. We all want to play. We all want to get rewards. But you can't be hurting the team. So I'm going to need you in voice chat. And I'm going to need you to, like, communicate with us. We're all chill.
The ones that we have are not English speaking.
Ooh.
Yep. Often a challenge.
And we have I am sometimes our setter. The account that was our main setter account was sold, and the person who purchased it is not English speaking.
What server and continent are you in?
I'm on 898 and C4.
Okay. So you guys have been playing long enough that if these people haven't picked it up by now,
right,
they're probably not gonna.
Yeah, how big is your team?
Well, depends on the week.
Oh.
And part of it is time zone.
Oh yeah.
We have a lot of US players, but the account that was our setting account that was purchased is in a completely different time zone and does not want to set, which we've made some adjustments, but we are also trying to figure out what the heck to do about All Stars, about calls. It's one of those where it's a culture shift, I think would be probably a good description. We are working as a leadership team. We rotate the R5. Currently it's me. We're working on it, but it's it's tough. we
Yeah,
put out a poll. Yeah.
So you're saying it's like those smaller guys, they're not massive for the most part, and they're just not communicating. So I'd have the one-on-one convo with them, and then I'd be like, "Hey, dude, if you can't change up how you're playing by next week, like it's not personal, but you're gone. You know, maybe not
You're
full
gone for
gone, but
balls.
like, yeah, you're not being signed up for Battlefield anymore. That's what I'd say to them. And then
I
if
would
they
agree with
improve,
that.
then they improve.
Yeah. It's one of those, several of us have had the discussion. We wish one of the things that TG would offer is the opportunity to move your account to a different server, to a different
Yeah,
continent.
unfortunately, that can't happen.
I
Yeah,
know.
it's
I know.
never gonna happen. Everybody would love it, but
Yeah,
We
all the beta server
would.
people cry about it.
Right. It's just, and it is what it is in some respects, but it's also for those of us who want to continue to play and grow. We still have a core team, if you will. But it's how do you not piss everybody else off, or do you just not care?
In my team, because like this is before I joined RSP, and obviously, like as a bigger name in my team,
Yeah.
you just gotta lay down the law. You gotta be like, hey, dude, this is how I want to play. This is how the rest of the team wants to play. You haven't
Get
been
on board or step
performing.
off.
Yeah,
I kind of
Right.
think of it like a team sport. Like if somebody is part of a football team and they're not playing their part in the game and not doing what they're supposed to be doing, they're going to get benched.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I agree,
Nice.
and I think a
Hopefully we
lot
help.
of it too is setting up like establishing your expectations, right? Like, hey, like with the keep that you just bought, or with the keep that you're playing now, you should be able to do X, Y, and Z. Like we need to kind of tailor you to learn these skills. And if you can't, then we're gonna have to readjust, right?
In terms of who gets to participate in Battlefield.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Please, can you hear me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Muggy, what's up?
Oh
Coach?
my good lord, I was drowning over here.
That's not good.
Oh, well,
All right. Well, Mags, I hope we helped answered your question a little
You
bit.
did.
Gave some insight as to what we would do.
Yeah, you did. Thank you.
All right. Have a nice night.
You too.
All right. Do we have any other questions? You want to post them and raise your hands and hop up?
We do have, I don't know how to say this name, but
Jurassic something 06.
It's
Oh, yeah.
Cyril. Thank you.
Sarah, hello.
Yes.
Hello,
Hello,
Sarah.
guys. Thank you. Thanks for taking the time to do this for everybody. It's really appreciated.
Our pleasure, literally.
The question I had is that earlier you guys mentioned something about the last player, the last man in the buildings. We're wondering, has that been proven, or is it just that everybody brings their own buffs?
So everyone fights with their own stuff, but I'm pretty sure the debuffs on the report like matter a lot. And even if not, it just looks sexier, to have the last guy with good stats.
I don't think it's
Yeah,
ever been, but it shows on the report that last guy in. It's like a sandwich. Your highest rally cap and your is the first, and then you always throw your biggest, baddest guy at the end. Usually when you're wanting to reinforce or hold buildings.
Well, yeah, that's what we've been doing basically. Sometimes what we do is our biggest guy, he'll set the rally, he'll go, we'll get in, then he'll leave and go back in as the last guy.
Yeah.
So we have, he'll go back and forth like twice. I mean,
Yeah, if someone else happened to
sometimes it's
join the
worked out,
rally.
but it's not sure.
Yeah. Well, they got to
I
deal
would
with
just
them last. So I think that's how it works out. Is you guys will wear them out and then put your toughest guy in at the end, and they're dealing with him last. So
Okay. That's perfect. Good. All right. Thanks again. That's the only question I have. Thank you.
thank you for hopping up, dude. Hope to see you again.
Definitely.
We had a question in the chat about increasing rally buffs as a rally joiner.
Ooh.
rally size or
I
Or
think they're
they're
talking
in
about in
rally
rally
buffs.
books,
Yeah.
such as like Blazon's, Military Academy.
you want
Who
in
was it
rally?
by? Who
Sure.
who
Bigger teams like the Bigs or the Hots or the GOTs, all teams like that, you're always going to want to go all in rally buff. You're going to have your main setter and everybody else just in rally buff except for your portal people.
Yeah, I think the question was more so where to get them. Am I understanding
Yeah.
that correct?
Where? Oh, good lord!
Yeah. So where to get them would be like Blazons, stuff
Credit
like
card?
that. Credit card, yeah. The Amex is the main, and the Visa is the assist.
Yep.
No, but there's like specific Blazons you can go after. A lot of tech in the military academy. They got some crazy like when in a rally, stuff like that.
And Blazon's probably one of the best spots.
Yeah. Hey, looks like we got Khaled. What's up, dude?
He's gonna sing us a song.
Did Viper fucking server mute him?
Khaled, you're muted, bro.
You gotta save the song for the end, though.
Oh, we got a. All right, we got a question I just got added from Neith, I think. Neith, do you want to raise your hand so you can come up and speak with us?
That's a good one.
Someone else is a speaker, so we'll put that on hold. Hello, APAC.
Oh.
Do you have a question?
Guys, how are you doing? Yes, I have kind of maybe tons of questions, but what I want to ask first is like we are like 80 million alliance, 80 billion alliance. So we have like two big players. I'm the rally setter. I'm the K40 of the team. I have some another K39 with good buffs, and there we have so many carry 36, 37s, 38s. So we started exploring the last challenge. We just got smoked. We qualified on majors and we just died very quick. I mean,
Yeah.
C3 now.
Something wrong with that.
So
That hurts.
I'm now trying to unlock all my T15s and then start helping with all my outs to the other team. But how do you think it's the way that, because we are trying to start doing some rallies, but the other players, we are trying to start doing some reinforcement from each other to have better defenses from the whole team. So I don't know if that could be a good strategy to have, that for our players that are not strong enough, to reinforce them, or how to keep competing, or just push them as quick as we can so they can be like 39 and 38, 39, not just 36 and 37s to start doing more damage.
So I'm a fan of lateral growth, and by that I mean getting everyone up to similar keep sizes and stuff like that. So maybe I would try to help my teammates get up to like 39 and 40.
Yeah.
Definitely don't pass them up and go way above them where they can't catch you, because that's a bad situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna end up on an island.
It'll
Yes.
make for no fun battlefields.
What are you, a C5
Yeah.
or C6?
I'm C3.
Oh,
Oh,
C3.
C3.
Yeah.
Okay.
Server-
How big is your
server-
team? How big is
server
your
six-
line?
Go.
Server 666. I mean, the
Oh, that's a
Debo,
fun one.
the Debo
Oh, wow.
server. Yeah.
Well, lateral, like
Yeah.
Jake said, go lateral. I mean, try and keep everybody around the same size. And you guys should be porting from rallies at your size right now. I imagine you're all pretty small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
might suck for a little bit though. Like it might suck, you might think, "Oh, we're not making a lot of progress," but if you just keep at it and you keep increasing everyone's military academy and their keep size, and their march size, you're eventually going to do a lot better than you are now with just the one big dude or two big dudes.
Yeah.
And you're
Yeah.
going to have a lot more fun, like it's more fun when everyone can do stuff, you know?
Yeah. Thanks. That's what I have been thinking. I just was trying just to try to unlock some T15s for helping, so we can get also for the people that are not coining, also getting quicker some resources on these tweaks and tactics pearls that if you
Yeah.
don't coin are difficult. They're only in the bigger monsters.
Everyone has different opinions on T15s and when to unlock them. My
Yeah,
opinion is get to K42, let alone K43, and then start with either ground or siege, and then do the one that you didn't, and then do calves, and then save archers for later.
yeah.
That's just my view, and I could be wrong too. So, you know,
So do you think that maybe try to get the better buffs at K42 than unlocking the T15s, because it's very expensive.
yeah. And if you're the only guy, like, you know, you could go consult some people off event about how the troops work. But if you're the only dude with T15s, like your march is gonna get pretty messed up, you know. And if you're just the only one with T15s, you're not gonna be doing a whole lot of work, you know. Whereas,
Yeah.
like, if the rest of your team had them and stuff like that.
Could you repeat this last part, please?
Sorry, I may have cut out. Um, you don't necessarily want to be the only guy with T15s. Like, you don't want to
Okay.
unlock all four yourself, and then no one else has them. So maybe you want to
Yeah.
like help everyone else get up there.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the problem is that I think now they are in a alt hunting season, so we are trying to be under the radar.
Yeah. Well, I hope we gave you some insight as to like what we would do. And again, you know, our word isn't law. Always consider advice that you're getting from people.
Yeah, no, for sure that really helped me, because yeah, I was debating what to do, and just I'm trying also to help all to be in the same spot, because in that way all could have kind of the same buffs, and all the rallies will be more effective than what we have now.
Yep.
Okay, thanks, guys.
Thank
Have
you.
a nice
Thank
night.
you.
I think if he's the only player with T15s on his team, I don't think the T15s do him that much justice.
Yeah. All right. So we have another speaker, Neith. She had a question earlier. Thank you for patiently waiting.
No
Hi.
problem. Hi everyone. Thank you for having me.
Hello.
So, we are compared to you guys, of course. We are a very young and growing team, 113 members, with a total of about 87.5 billion power. We are from server 1182, so C5. So, my question was, we have about, not too many, about 10 to 12 members who regularly participate in battles. How do we go about, first of all, what should the duties or roles be that we give out to people? And how do we go about distributing these, how many of each, for example,
So you said you have like six-ish people that join the battle?
10 to 12?
Oh, 10 to 12. Okay, sorry, I misheard. So I'd go and I'd see who has the biggest war hall. And it's not just the biggest war hall, but who has the quickest speed. Like, you know, who's I don't want to say the best, but you know, who has the quickest speed, who can launch rallies quickest, who can like you know, make the decision in their head. They would
Mhm.
be the rally setter. And then the trap players, like if you have T1 trap players, I would assign them to like portals so that they can take some solo attacks.
Okay.
It just sounds like your team isn't super huge to the point where like you can have a lot more dedicated roles. But as you grow over time, you can start like telling someone that they're going to be a baiter or they're going to be like a port swapper or something like that. Kuma, you
I
want to
think
go?
I think people kind of naturally fall into some of those roles too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Their play styles.
Yeah.
Yep. And
Because
I think everybody has to have goals too, right? Like, if you like specifically want to be a rally setter, you have to build your keep accordingly, you know. And same thing with building a trap, right? Everything has to be very specific. Hi, how are you? Hello. Sorry, ordering food.
Yeah, so we have two players who are K40s. So when they are able to participate, then they are automatically the rally setters.
Oh, that's good.
So the second part of my question was, we have a lot of new joinees, new people joining in, and they're pretty raw. So what's the best way to go about kind of training them, off the battle? I mean, before they even get into battle.
I would say YouTube, and YouTube. You can show them gameplay from people that are already doing what you want them to do, and then also having one-on-one Discord calls with them. You know, showing them like, hey, these are some strats I want you to do, stuff like that. Moggy, you want to go?
Oh no, I was just saying, you have bog patience, and they're only gonna get better with time. And in the beginning, their nerves will get to them, so just calm down. Remember, it's just a game. We all come here just to have a good time and play. So have patience with them, and eventually they'll come around.
Sure.
Like me.
Makes sense.
I think your
All right.
Cameroon's a little different.
Thank you.
Have a
Thanks,
nice
guys.
night. Thank you for the question.
We do have another person raising their hand, but Viper tagged us on this question in the chat. How do you sell the support role? Everyone wants to be a rally team. Everyone wants to kill things and get into all-stars. Everyone wants to be the one getting full reinforcements to get rallied or just sit in the hive after being zeroed. I don't know. I like being a support player. You couldn't pay me enough to be like a setter or something like that. I like to kind of just play my role in helping the setter, helping my team, looking around at everything constantly. But I do understand that there is that mentality out there that, people want to be the big guy. They want to do this and that, and they don't want to just sit back and support. So I don't know. I don't really have any advice on how you sell it.
I used to sell it pretty effectively. And here's what I'd do. I would be straight up. I'd be like, guys, we're not playing Call of Duty. We're not in Warzone. We're in a freemium, which is a free to play, but it's premium, a freemium phone game. Some people are spending a lot more than others, meaning they develop more, they get bigger, they have bigger buffs, and thus they go on to these huge events. So the way I would sell the support role back in my old team would be constant, like, what's it? Positive reinforcement. I'd be like constantly reminding them, like, hey, you're doing really good, like, you're helping us out. If they did something clutch during the battlefield, I'd point it out and I'd be like, thank you. And, like, you know, y- like, they're your friends, obviously. Like, if you're in a team with someone, they're your friends. But you also want to, like, encourage them and tell them that they're doing a good job. Without a support role player, like, without a support at all, like, the big guy would crumble, you know? I mean, I'm sure Viper's the god tier gamer. He could do without support, but, for all us other plebs, we need support. It's a team game. Khaled, you got some background noise going on, Brother Bear?
Oh, sorry for this.
He
Anyway,
speaks. Hi, Colin.
Hi, Khaled.
Oh
okay.
shit.
Good morning, ladies. Sorry for coming late.
You're good. I was late too. So yeah, Khaled, how would you sell a support role player? Like, how would you sell the idea of that? How would you encourage someone to be a support role player?
If you don't want to be a support player, then you don't have to. So,
Yeah, no one's forced to do anything, you know?
I am sure that most of you talk too much about the subject. I believe that you mentioned a lot of things, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna say something is repeated already. But
Oh, you're good.
but for me, when I play with different alliances, sometimes I go to fill with different alliances. Some I don't know them, but they ask for help, so I just go to play with them. Uh, in the past, I used to ask some players to play with my alliance to fill for my team. So there are some major issues that I suggest that if you want to be a filler for a different team than your team, first of all, you have to remove the comparison between your alliance and their alliance, because in the past I used to bring some players from two teams to play with my team, and some of them they have some ego that okay, we came from an old alliance, we have more experience than you. Our alliance ranking, for example, is 20, and your alliance ranking is 100, so we are way more better than your alliance. No, that's this is the first wrongest step to do it. So you have to make sure that some alliances they are in a low rank because they don't have enough players. Some players, okay, they are skilled alliance, but they just have 4 or 5 players in the battlefield. So that's the reason why their rank is very low. Then try not to get involved in the team, because I saw some fillers when they join or try to fill for a team, they try to control the team or try to put their things in the team. Like, I need you to do this and this and this and this. Okay, don't get involved in the team issues. Okay.
Yeah.
And what is the most important thing for me as a filler is you have to play a different role that you played in your alliance. For example, let's say that you are a rally sitter in your main alliance and you want to fill to a small team with the small keep. Don't push them to let you be the sitter. Don't push them that you want to play their main sitter account. Just try to play a different role. You know, most of the alliances, they just have like rally sitter and rally joiners. That's it. There are some missing rules, like someone who is looking for for the buildings, someone who is looking for the targets. There's a rule for someone who is looking after his teammates when they are getting rallies. You can see that everywhere. That 99% of people during the battlefield they don't mention that there is a rally on their cape. So try to play that role that you have to announce that there are some rallies in your teammates. And I do believe you do that, you will learn something new for yourself and you will improve the team that you will help them during the battlefield.
Perfectly
Okay, that's
said.
it.
All right. Let's try to get into a couple more questions.
Where did Roman go? Roman had a question. He disappeared.
For now we have. I'm gonna butcher your name. I'm very sorry, bro. Badgie. He has a question. Pavi, you're more experienced. Do you wanna, or like Kuma or Magi? Do you want to touch on that? He's asking about reigns. Or no, wait. He's asking about rally joiners. You guys see the question, right?
No, I don't see. Where's that? No.
Here,
Message.
I'll tag it.
All right.
Here you go. He has the Scorpions in his name.
So, yes. Do you use rally joiners as rally setter to confuse the enemy? So their rally setter can hit them by setting another rally. I mean, we do, yes. Sometimes we do, and sometimes we actually send it. So it all depends on if you have the capability to do that. Do you have another setter or another account that can actually that
Oh,
the things will actually send? You know, it's gotta. I mean, not like we're gonna have Pavi set. You know, because
I
they're
got
not.
a funny. I got a funny one. Do you guys remember? Magi, you weren't here. When we played VIG against Viper, one of our friends, Face, he got killed, and at one point he was setting ghost rallies just to like mess with a couple VIG players. and we we wound up trying to join in there. You guys can go search for it in the video from RSP's perspective. But we tried to join in his rally to catch one of their guys off guard. I think is Flong,
Oh,
and yeah, it didn't work out. It didn't work out, but stuff like that's fun to do, like
you
where
don't
you're
do that
using a
against.
rally joiner
You don't
instead of
do
rally.
that against Big.
Yeah, I know, but it was when we were having fun. We were just like goofing around for
Yeah.
the last little bit.
You get that match, damn it.
Yeah.
I think
It was
you're
pretty funny. Okay, I think we found
Okay, we
Roman.
got Roman back.
Okay. Hello, Roman.
Hi, Roman.
welcome,
Hi.
Roman.
I had a question about how you guys handle reinforcing while you are in a rally.
Oh, okay.
Because we're like 160 bill alliance, but we send our archer siege marchers at most of the time, and then our members can't get enough reinforcements and just get zeroed while they're in the rally, and they're too slow to drop out in time.
I say number one priority would be to get them reinforced and then join the rally.
Yeah, if they know they're vulnerable from past experiences, you guys should try to work on a pre-rean plan or like a impromptu rean plan. Like, hey, this guy's gonna join. We need to send him some pre-reans. If you're the setter and you know he's like slow at recalling, you can just cancel the rally. You know, like you can just
Yeah,
cancel.
I'm not the
hope he
setter.
scoops in. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm not the setter. It's been like a month since I was the setter and other team. Yeah, it's tough to deal with stuff like that. You know, you just gotta like I hate giving the same answer to questions, but you just the one-on-one talks. You know, like you gotta just like
Yeah.
you don't have to be mean about it, obviously, because they're your friends and stuff. But you just gotta be like, hey, dude, like we need to work on such and such, and here's a video from a similar sized alliance on YouTube. Like, see how they do it, stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
like one-on-one talks with them and stuff.
If they're
And then
vulnerable,
how do you guys?
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, go.
No, you're good. Go ahead,
I
Roman.
was just gonna ask how you guys handle cross raining for
Okay.
like, yeah,
So
like do
you're
you guys all cross rain one person each, try to get everybody filled up with at least one rain, or target a
so
few bigger keeps?
so I can answer this in like the form of like all-stars stuff because our battlefields are basically all-stars. Sometimes
Yeah.
you'll want to have a pre-ring plan like beforehand, and then like maybe everyone has a partner. Like a big guy has a partner with a small guy, and he'll send out a pre-ring. Um, in
Okay.
those rings, typically you're gonna want to have more T15, T14. If you're a cracked out coiner like Viper, T16, and your march might get messed up, but you're gonna help your buddy live. You know, like you want to keep him in the fight so that he can rally fill for like the full 2 hours. So like
Okay. Yeah.
sacrificing some top tiers to help your buddy live. And
So I think
yeah,
only 3 of us in our alliance have T15s unlocked. I'm about to unlock mine in a couple weeks. But we have one big player, K42, and he does the rally setting. He can take almost anything. But then some of our smaller members try to port out the rallies. Sometimes reinforcements get sent back. Then the rally hits them with no rains in them. Or
yeah.
it'll just like they'll get one rain and still get zeroed.
We have the luxury of like knowing who our opponent's gonna be for the most part. So we have different plans for different teams typically. So maybe
Yeah.
you guys can have something like that where you know you're facing a big team and you'll want to do your pre-reans, or you'll want to do no reans so that none of your other guys are caught off guard. I think Mr.
Okay.
Oz talked about that in the chat. If he wants to unmute and explain why not to pre-rean.
Yeah.
Maybe not. All right. So yeah, it's just a case by case basis. I'm in favor of pre-reining if you can. Like if you're like the big accounts, if you can convince them to pre-rein, it helps out a lot. But
Yeah,
sometimes you don't
probably
want to.
could.
Yeah.
So target like a few players that can take a few smaller players that can actually take rallies
Yeah.
and
Just
pre-rein
get like a
them.
buddy system. Yep. Try to get like a buddy
Okay.
system. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks for coming up, dude. Hope to hear from you again.
Yep.
Thank
See you
you.
in All Stars, maybe.
Hopefully I get there too.
Yeah.
All right. See you later, dude.
Later.
All right. All right. We got any questions? We got any hands being raised? Anyone want to talk about stuff in the meantime?
Let's talk about this bowl I'm smoking.
Oh yeah, in a legal state, of course, a legal state. Yes.
Yep. Well, I
Okay.
have a medical card.
Oh yeah. Okay. Good. 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 All right.
Yep.
Looks like we have a question from a cross. Does someone want to read that off? Maybe
During
Miss
5
Pat.
minutes in the
Okay.
stand, we rush to analyze other teams, who their biggest is, monarch level, more indicted. What the hell? And keep levels and their power distribution according to sign up power to see if they are a rally team or a one-man carry and adjust the plan for pre-rain. Or was that not a question?
Yeah, I
Oh,
guess
yeah.
that's more like
Yeah.
advice. That's good advice, though.
Yes.
Like people in smaller and medium teams should do that.
Who's? Yes. Anybody? I'm passing.
Okay. How do you?
Like,
Okay, let's do.
Can you hear me?
Hello, Oz.
Yes.
Hello. So I was just in car park when you wanted me to chat. So pre-range, the reason, if you're rally on rally, like there's a team that's gonna rally you back, you don't want to do pre-range. If you do pre-range and you cross-range, you basically become idle. You can't pout, and if you can't pout, you're gonna get set on. Like if you're watching them, they're watching you back. I think someone typed that in chat. That was a good line. So don't pre-rain if you're rally on rally. Try and react rain. Like someone should be watching your alliance board or whatever to watch for the other team setting, or you could even watch the setup. Like they're usually one, maybe two setters, sometimes three. You can just watch the setup. So if there's a lot of lines going into the setup, that just means they're setting, and then you can look at who they're setting on, and then you can decide if you want to rein or not. Because reins have to be counter of the rally that's coming in. So pre-reining usually is not a good idea. It does work supremely well if you're playing against a 1 or 2 man squad. Like you'll see a team with, I don't know, 2 really big players, and then the power drip from there would be like the top 2 players are like 30 bill, 25 bill, and the next player is like 5 bill, 8 bill. That's a carry team. They're gonna solo a lot. If they're gonna solo, you can pre-rain and cross-rain and all that stuff.
Very
Outside
good
that,
points.
I wouldn't do pre-rains against a rally team.
Yeah, that's pretty valid. You want to be able to run away and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I think there was a question around blazons. I don't know if you answered, but you just do one. Like depending on your keep, there are certain blazons that should be defensive. There's certain blazons that should just be attacking, and certain you can go universal. But you're never gonna have enough time to go and change from blazon preset 1 to preset 2 to preset 3, depending on what's happening. Like just never gonna happen. And if that's happening to you, then you're probably a solo player that can do all of that.
Yeah. You want to stick to one good set.
Yeah. You just set up everything, push everything, and then you're Gucci.
We have
Tips for
a
reading.
question. Okay.
Nothing. I was just gonna read the next question, but you can read it if you
Okay.
want.
Yeah. Are you
There's a
on
good
Mars's
topic,
question?
and there was a good topic in the messages.
Yeah. Are you on
Which
Mars's
one?
question?
Yeah, that's what I was reading. Tips
Okay.
for
Okay.
reading
Go
and
ahead.
utilizing reports of scouts, different parts of them for different occasions, quickly at length afterwards. What information to look for or ignore? Uh, Usually, it boils down to troop composition. So if you play the same teams again and again, you basically know the build, and then scouts don't really matter, which usually would happen in every bracket. It doesn't matter if you're small, big. The teams shouldn't be changing a whole lot uh, because there are two factors that affect matchup. One's sign up power, and the second one is win rate. So if your win rate is high, you're gonna get matched up with another team that has high win rate with similar sign up power. You won't necessarily match someone with exactly the same sign up power. Reading reports, I don't know. I haven't done that in a long, long time. Like the only times I do it is when I get a surprise, a splat. Like I'd set a rally on someone and it does not go the way I thought it would. And then I'd quickly look at the report to look at troop composition to then decide what to smack it with next. But scouts, haven't done them in 2 years. Haven't read reports in details. After
Yeah.
Battlefield, you should 100% be reading reports because that is the only way you're gonna understand mechanics. Like you can go on YouTube, you can go. There's a bunch of websites. You can read the theories. You can craft theories with people and friends and discords and all that stuff. But the only way you're gonna truly understand what happens when you land something on someone, like a siege rally on someone or a range on someone, is if you sit down and spend like an hour after your battlefield in your own casual time reading reports to see what happened. And you're also gonna find out who's good in your team and who's not. Like if you set range and there's a guy that's always sending cav or ground, something else that they shouldn't be sending, you're gonna find that out if you read reports. Otherwise, you'll never find that out.
Oh, thanks for not
You'll
name
all,
dropping.
the other thing you'll find out is like if you're the setter and you're reading reports, like because your reports are the only reports that show the order in which people are joining. So if you read like 10 reports and that's one player in your team that is always like in the 10th place on your report, then that means you got to talk to that player about speeding their marches into rallies. So it's like it kind of also gives you an insight into your own team's skill set. Like Death is in this chat. He's probably one of the slowest, but he's also like 80, so we forgive him.
Yeah. He collects his social security when he should be joining rallies.
Yeah,
But to touch back on like the reading reports, back in my smaller team where like we had to be really like methodical about looking at stuff. If I'm filling less than a 30 mil rally, I'm gonna be scrolling down the report really fast to look for the T1 wall. If the T1 wall is dead, then I can move on to calves, typically. Or if they still have a lot of top tier archers, then I'd be like, oh, okay, we need a big siege, boys. So it's just stuff like that. You wanna look there and see what you can kill to help your next rally and get a big clear. Thank you for the question. Do we have any speakers that want to jump up and ask a question? It's been a hot minute.
so for as team strategy, what's the best way about controlling the map? Controlling the map is all about controlling the portals. You don't need controls of other buildings.
Did
Like
you
if you're a
stole
rally team,
my
this is
answer?
purely. Sorry, what?
I said you stole my answer.
Oh, sorry, bro. I'll shut up. You can talk.
No, go. I'm stoned, bro. I'm good. I'm listening.
Okay.
Okay,
I was just
go on.
I was just saying it's all about portal controls. Like you wanna lock them. out of ports, and the only way to do that is by controlling portals. So that should be the only focus we have. Like maybe let them have one if you're playing BOC, and then keep resetting it. But the more portals you can control, the quicker they're gonna get port logged. And once they're port logged, they're gonna be scrambling. So you want them in distress, so you can set multiple rallies, wipe some keeps, and get ahead while they're logged. But that again boils down to the lateral of a team. If you have the ability to send like 6 marches into a portal and sit in all 4, maybe 6 in BOC, it just depends on team depth. I don't think most teams would be able to do it. Most top teams would have a dedicated portal rally setup, which I think can be boiled down to medium teams as well. But
Yeah,
I
for
just
sure.
don't think you'll be able to do that in smaller alliances.
I'm gonna be driving real quick, just driving home. So I'm gonna mute for a second. Someone wants to like take over. Maybe Oz can take over.
No,
Bro,
the
you can
second
speak
row.
while driving. It's fine. Don't worry.
I say
Yeah, if you
Caleta.
want to see, go.
Go. I thought
I was just
Caleta.
yes. The only other thing I was gonna say was if you watch the RSP Vig channel, I'd say look for Kara and Vig, like in the last
Khalid.
battle that we posted
Yes, yes.
for portal control. And Khalid, of course, Khalid.
Thank you. Okay. That's a good comment from Viper.
It's almost time for you to sing.
Uh, about training and joining the rallies. I played with 200 billion alliance like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. They asking about how can we rein each other's fast, how we can set rallies in a good way. Told them first of all you have to compare yourself to your enemies. I mean, if your enemies, I mean, your team has like 10 billion keeps, 11 billion, 4 billion, 5 billion. And if your enemies are the same situation like you, they don't have like 30 billion keep or 40 billion K45, something like that. You have to stop ghosting. I mean, why your 5 billion or 6 billion players keep ghosting? That's one issue. Because when someone wants to look about the upcoming rallies from your enemies, he has to watch it from the battle log. And if your team has like 100 marches are using for ghosting, you cannot see it. There will be like 100 marches, and there is one rally is coming to one of your friends. So if you are not gonna die with 3, 4, 5 solo attacks, don't ghost. Just keep it in your keep and use it for raining. Like some people ask me, maybe we don't have enough marches to rain each other's. Okay, if you're not gonna die within solo hits, then use your marches, and instead of ghosting, send it to your teammates and rain them. It's an easy. Why Mogi and Jake are
Sure.
talking about
No,
being naked?
that's all him, bro. That's all him, not me. Do we have anyone in the chat that would like to raise their hand and hop up on stage? Because we'll pull you up and you guys can ask questions or give insight as to like how you are a support role player and what you wish other people would do, stuff like that. Doesn't need to be a question. And if you've already been on stage, you can come up again. It's no limit. What else we
Hello.
got?
Hi, Kong.
Hello.
I have a question. So, like, as a medium-sized, well, I don't know what you define as medium-sized, but like as like a 2 billion player, what do you think your role is in like a battlefield?
What's
Depends
the
on
size
the
of your
alliance.
team?
Like, how should you contribute to a team in Battlefield as a 2 billion player?
Well, I would want to ask if you're a 2 bill, I would hope that you're either one, a full ghoster, or two, you have your T1 wall fully flat refined, and you can take a couple solos.
I can take a couple solos.
Okay, so
Okay.
if you can take solos, I would say you want to be scouting the map. You want to be looking for people for your bigger teammates to either solo or set on. You want to try to get in a couple rallies if you can. You also want to like be reactive with your rings because if you're 2 bill, you don't want to be stuck anywhere. But if you see one of your guys getting quad set on or something like that and he can't run, maybe slop in a ring real quick. Try to help your friend live. Typically in battlefields, you don't want to overheal unless it's like all stars or Shalons and you're like really fighting for red subs. So be like careful about what you do with your troops. Like, yeah.
Okay.
Someone else want to take over and give insight?
So like,
One point.
All right, Pavi, you go. Kangaroo's busy.
like what's the size of like the bigger keeps of your team? How big is your team?
We have a couple 10 billions, 15, I think one of them.
Okay.
It's like 170 billion.
So are you like one of the smaller players in your
It's
battlefield
like 2
team?
bills.
I would say I'm like the medium sized. I'm not Ghost
Okay.
of Ghost though.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
I think just the stuff Jake said, I think also being a smaller player, when you get lower and there isn't really much you can do as far as helping with rallies and range, you don't have any full marches left. You can help out with portals, port to the portals, force port people away from them. Little stuff like that you can do to help out.
I just want to add to that is see, it's way different than us. Opavi at his size, he would be in that alliance. He would be like a medium player in his alliance, so he's gonna stay back, and he's still gonna have to join rallies, no, but from a distance. Try and stay hidden. Don't hype up with the bigger players, but do spread out, and join from a distance if you can, if you're fast enough to get away from a rally.
Oh, that's understandable.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, definitely for medium players. And, he would be a medium player in his team, but I'm guessing at 2 bill power, if he has the T1 wall, he probably doesn't have a whole lot in the way of marches. Is that accurate, Kong?
Wait, what happened? Sorry.
How many marches do you have to use at 2 billion power? Do you have one of each? Your
one of
each, the ground, and all.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if you've got that still going for you, and you can join a rally, because the people they're facing, lines like that's facing is much smaller. They're not going to be just these big, huge guys. They're just not.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, he still has to be in some rallies.
Yeah, of course. My trap in my old alliance, I was a rally joining trap because we didn't have enough people to fill the rally. So I had a march of each. I would ghost. Bigger teams typically don't ghost much, but on those smaller, medium teams, you're going to have that ghosting where I would just ghost the marches, unghost to join the rally, speed back, ghost it again, and have to keep healing the march between everyone because I only had one of each. But if that's something you're able to do, then of course, yeah, you want to keep helping out, joining rallies, reigns, whatever. But if it's a less important battlefield where you're not going to be using much healing, that's more where I was saying that, when you get to a certain point, when you're lower, you can't join any rallies, you can't reign, then you can help with things like going to the portals and force porting people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I never want to advise overhealing, So while it'd be ideal to always have your full march, you gotta adjust once you don't have a full march. Does anyone else want to add in on Kong's question, or are we good?
As you kept trying to talk.
We got some good advice.
No, I'm good.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for coming up, dude.
Take care, bud.
Thank you.
Oh, I got a couple ads. What's going on? Oh, Viper loves me. Do we have any other questions or any people that want to hop on up? Oh, yep. All right, we got one from Matt. If you're the only one with T15s, would it help more to keep those T15s out of the rallies? It's a tough one. Depends on what T15s. I would say, include them. Because, T15s are great and all. But just don't forget about the rest of your team. Try to help the rest of your team get T15s too. Anyone else have a... Oh yeah, Oz is answering. Yeah, use them, Just try to help the rest of your team get them in the future too.
Every extra layer counts, so it definitely helps. But then when you're only sending in, say, 1 or 2, if you have T15, you're sending your T15 to slaughter, so they're just points.
Yeah, he's given some insight about the layers and stuff. Oh, he can't hop up. All right, so we got a question from Big T. Where is it at?
And there's a guy, Sig, has his hand up.
Oh, yep, that's priority. Let's pull him up. Hello, Sig.
Hey, everybody. So my
Hi.
question is about what's more important in filling the rally. Is it the number of players that get in, so like 10 to 17, or is it their march size that they fill that rally with?
Sorry, could you ask that again? Sorry.
So I'm asking about, for a rally, what is more important from a filler or from a rally joiner's perspective? Is it for me to max out my march size, or for there to be more people able to join the rally?
March size.
Yeah, I like march size, but I also like more marches, just like Oz, because you're gonna have more layers to fight with. Because it's your rally versus their keep plus any reigns. So you kind of want to get a lot of people in there. So focus on getting a bigger war hall so that you can get more players in there, as opposed to like 2 big guys with huge marches or something like that.
What she's asking is, pretty much if it's better to have 10 players in a rally, or is it better to have 15 players to fill? I would say, well, if the 10, you're going to have higher buffs, but the 15, you're going to have more layers, I guess. So I don't know. That is a good question.
I'm a fan of the 15.
For our main setter, we're looking at a 50 to 60 million size war hall. And
wow.
there are times when not everyone can join. So it's what we're trying to determine is that for our sort of mid-size, smaller keeps, those who are less than 10 bill, should they not increase their march size so you can get more layers in versus maxing everybody out?
Yeah, there's always a difference of opinion, but for me, I would say get more players in, and it's a good problem to have. If you're red barring
For
your
sure.
rallies, that's a sign of you're going the right way. You know, people are active, they're joining. So I would encourage a bigger war hall to get more layers and more people, as opposed to a smaller rally.
Cool. Thanks.
Thanks for coming up.
They're almost done too.
All right. Big T had a question, and I gotta find it again. I'm sorry, Big T. Can you just copy and paste your message so I don't have to like hit my thing?
He should just wave his hand and jump up on
Well, he
stage.
can't. He can't, or else he
Oh,
would. It'd be awesome to have two Aussies up here. They'd just be talking about fucking football, not soccer. Football. All right. So if he can copy and paste his question, so that
Do
we
you,
don't have to like.
I have it. Do you want me to read it for you?
Oh yeah. If you have it, go at it. Oh yeah. You just post it again. So Pabby, please.
I have a strategy when we are trying to get players Red Wings by lowering sign-in power, but this time we need several players to make All-Stars 2. Should we split into two teams to lower both sign-in powers?
So I did this on my C4 server. We did that once,
I was with you.
and yeah, I think you were around when we did that. Um, the thing is, if you're gonna split up, you need to have one dude that's like cracked out, like in buffs, even if he's the player being pushed. Who's got that background noise? Khaled, could you mute real quick, brother?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Oz
You're
just
good.
made
You're
a
good.
good point. If you split into two, will both teams win?
Yeah, well, both teams win. So if you can't ensure that they can't win, don't do it. But if you can, then it might be lucrative. So it's just like it's one of those things. When we did it, in my experience, you would know if it's gonna work after round one. Like if round one went terrible, then you guys all come back. But I don't really recommend doing it, just
Yeah,
because
don't.
you have to
But
have really good
it doesn't.
players to do it, and you have to get good
Depends on your
matchups.
light size. What is your light size and what is
Don't
your
say.
continent?
Yeah, good question. What's your alliance size and stuff like that? Keep sizes, Mister Big T.
C650 bill.
Uh, I think it's better to. Do you guys have another alliance on your server? I mean, what is the biggest alliance there?
We are okay. They're the biggest. I would say stick together. Like you guys will get there eventually, where you could try some risky stuff like that. But realistically, like the kangaroo just said, bigger sign up power equals like bigger points. Stuff like that, and you'll have a bigger team that can possibly clear out like not to name drop anyone, but like if you get the Neos of the world, you're not gonna want to have a split team. You're gonna want to have your full guys to like zero out a big dude. Oh yeah, don't set unrealistic expectations. Yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, you're a smart dude. I've seen you around the discords. You know what's up. So I feel like you'll make an educated decision. You know what's good. Hopefully that helped. The little advice. Okay. Do we have any other people that want to hop up on stage? Only Pavi bites. The rest of us are nice.
Hey.
Ooh, we just got a wall of text. Someone want to tackle that if it's a question? Yeah, I see a question mark. Does someone want to tackle that from Mars? Or does Mars want to hop up on stage and maybe ask? Pavi can bite me, ain't it? All right. Pavi, would you like to read off Mars's question?
I was gonna, I was gonna read it off.
Okay, yeah,
If she,
Mr. Oz.
I invited her on stage anyway. Let's see if she joins or he joins. I don't know. Don't want to assume gender.
Yeah.
Or they join.
I don't know how to invite people. I only know how to accept. I'm a noob.
Or it joins. I don't know. Is that a robot? Is that AI?
Oh, she's on. Or he's on.
Hi,
Hello,
Mars.
Mars.
Hi. Yeah, I guess so like my alliance is serious about being competitive and stuff, but we are split between like 13 different languages. And
Oh,
yeah, it's it's been really getting to a point where communication is a struggle and morale due to that and like, also just like trying to pay attention all battlefield long due to that is tough. And just wondered if there's any other tips or tricks that we haven't figured out yet. We do use voice chat, but I don't think we're utilizing it well. And yeah.
They just
so
need to learn
maybe.
like. Sorry, I was just gonna say they just need to learn like 6 phrases in English.
Uh-huh.
Like
Uh-huh.
the four keywords are siege, raids, ground, cav. Like standardize
Mhm.
that. And then like
Okay.
if someone's saying 3 to 1, that means a rally going up, and the only word you gotta pay attention to is it range going up or cav or ground, and then
Uh-huh.
rally on me, or rally on like whatever the player name is. That's all you gotta know. Honestly,
Okay.
you don't need to know
Mhm.
English to play.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Hmm. So yeah,
Another
I guess.
thing, I had a similar thing on my C4 team. We did a total rehaul. Like once we like learned that we had like a lot of languages. Thankfully we had a semi-active server where we could like pick and choose teammates from. How big is your team on your server? And are you guys the biggest?
Um,
And do you have other PvP people outside of your team?
yeah, we are the biggest, but we have a secondary large alliance on our server that um we there's like one that's like a mega coiner. He's almost K45. Very much an island player, doesn't rally, and
Oh
has
yeah.
kind of his acolytes that don't really do battlefield there. But they still cause, like if we could get him to join us and get him to play as a team, that'd be great. We have
Yeah.
uh, and a bunch of spenders over there in that alliance that just haven't learned PvP, um, but trying to figure out how to connect and recruit with them.
Yeah, so I would do what Oz said, like get your core group that's in your team who don't speak English and try to teach them the key phrases, and
Mm-hmm.
then at the same time try to like come together as a server, like get the guys in there,
Mm-hmm.
that can speak English or PvP players or who want to learn. To
Mm-hmm.
quote my old C4 team, apes together strong. It sucks being a fractured server. So try to
It
get
really
everyone
does.
together.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And I know we have like a couple. So that secondary large alliance is big because our two medium alliances merged. One of them just like I don't even remember who these players were in the first year of the alliance or of the server. Um, but they just have some really ingrained hate, oh, you attacked me, took my sub. I don't know. It's like stuff that none of us remembers. And just
Yeah.
like any on addressing those topics to be like, hey, okay, so I know that you absolutely hate us and think we're entitled, but you haven't told us like any specific arguments or reasons or things that we can address. It's just, hey, we hate you guys. But yeah, just any tips on
Sometimes
like calmly trying to get open communication there.
sometimes you just need to suck it up. You know that you're in the right and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that, but obviously they're being unruly. So you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to take a hit to the ego, and you might have to like compromise with them. And you might be like, "Hey, you know, don't give them like a fake apology. Like make it sincere. You know, like think about
Mhm.
it. I know it's just a fucking phone game, but you know they're
But it's, you
obviously
know, it's a
hurt
sports
by
team
it.
at the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, they're obviously hurt by it. So like try to make amends. Try to get people into your team that are PvP oriented, and
Mhm.
you should have a better time than you're having now. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Also,
Thanks.
X-wing posted something. I'll
Okay.
tag it again, where it might help with the first part of your question, where there's like non-English. There's like some weird
Okay.
Discord voice to text thing you can set up.
Oh, cool. Okay. All right. I'll check that out. Thanks. Oh, one last question.
Yeah.
uh, which kind of relates to if we were to get some of those players and kind of grow bigger. How do you decide who's going to All Stars? When you get a bunch of big players that all could make it with a little, you know, team support, and but you're not gonna, you know, we like the teams that you face in battlefields just don't give you enough points to send everyone there. Any
Um,
tips on dividing that up?
what I hate to like keep taking the stage. Someone go after me. But what we would do in my C4 team is the guy who was like the third or fourth or fifth place who could make All Stars. We would be
Hmm.
like, listen, you are the building dude and you are the Constantinople guy. So like
Okay.
after we clear out everyone, and if we don't get enough points, we're gonna be polite to the enemy. We're gonna let them take the building real quick, and then you're gonna rally it or you're gonna take it, and we're gonna hold it for you. And we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
try to get one guy a lot of building points.
Okay.
Additionally, what we would do is we would like say there's a keep that we can easily zero. Instead of zeroing it, we're just gonna siege the crap out of it so that it kills off the guy's archers and it sets up a big clear for the medium sized player.
Mm-hmm. That's good. That's good. All
Does
right,
anyone
cool.
else
That's
have
really
some
helpful.
strats on that? For
I
like,
think too, if you're on like a smaller team, you have to be realistic about what your team can do and how many people can actually be pushed. And think about who, you know, like Jake said, like kind of ranks them. Like if it's the third, fourth, fifth that may possibly be able to make it, you know, but you know your team is just not set up to be able to do that, make that happen, then
Mm-hmm.
you as a team discuss it and say, hey, these are the people we're going to push. You'll get your turn next time. Don't worry. We'll support you and push you next time. But
Mm-hmm.
realistically, this is what works right now for the team.
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
I
And then
noticed too,
maybe
like, oh, sorry, go.
just real quick, maybe during round 4, like when your people are already cemented in to get into top 400 All Stars, maybe in round 4 you can try to help some other people get points so they get into like junior All Stars so they can
Um,
still work towards getting a dragon egg. All
okay.
right, but go
Mm-hmm.
ahead. Go ahead.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, oh, I forgot. Oh shoot, I forgot my, my first question,
Sorry.
but it's all good. Second point was, so like in that other big team, there's two big guys that we're hoping would join us, but they're kind of also in the mentality of they spend a lot and they expect to be able to go to All Stars every time. And then our biggest two automatically get a score high enough to go to All Stars because they're helping to push, and so they're involved in all the rallies and all these things. Um, and so that was like one point of like disagreement with merge talks was just like, oh, they're gonna, you know, bump us out so we can't send anyone else to All Stars every time or whatever. But and so I didn't
Yeah.
know if some people recommend breaking off into two alliances after Shalons, like temporarily, or if just kind of figure it out.
I really wish that we had Cephalon on here. He's a player in VIG who has another team in C4, and they do something like that where their server's super united and they get together for a challenge and then they break off afterwards.
I could
Uh-huh.
try to get a
And
hold of it.
Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be really cool.
and I would only recommend it like how we answered the other player's question is you only do that when you know you can do it. Otherwise, you
Hmm.
want to stay condensed and get more points and more scores and stuff
Don't
like
spread
that.
yourself too thin. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Because you
And what
want
did
to
you
win.
say? Yeah, right, right. Your scores don't count near as much if you don't. Yeah. What did you say was you did siege instead of what to make
Oh
it an easier
yes.
clear?
So let's say we have a 6 bill and he's got the standard build, T1 wall, all the couple million of every troop.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna arch him on my old team. We're gonna arch that guy, and then we're gonna siege him like crazy to kill like all of his archers. And then
Mm-hmm.
that just means he's like ground left for the most part. And then
Mm-hmm.
we'll just have those medium guys try to get those big clears so that they get some solo clears.
Okay.
So just
Okay.
yeah, killing off the calves and then killing off the enemy archers, so that it's just ground left for the most part, and then letting them go at it.
Cool. All right, it's written down this time. That's all I remember. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. This has been really helpful.
Yeah, thanks for coming up. Hope to see you in future events. Bring your
Yeah,
friends.
definitely. All right. Bye.
See you later.
Thanks, Mars. I
I don't know how to
think
leave.
I can
I'll
move.
move
I
you back
moved it
to.
to general.
Okay, thank you. I was just gonna say, I think we're at 1 hour, 45 minutes now? Almost
Oh
two
yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry, but sorry to be the party pooper, but I think we're gonna close it for the day. We're gonna do more of these. They're gonna be different types of
As the
sessions and all
audience.
that stuff. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. Hopefully, this was useful. And definitely wasn't just to, it was a different perspective. Support players, rally joiners, different roles, being a utility player, all that stuff. Do share the Discord with your friends and other people. Also share the YouTube channel and help grow the community. And we'll keep doing what we're doing. Thank you for all the love and support. With that, ending the event, signing out.
Thank you guys.